Reading books is so nice and fun, right? So easy to go word for word, read all these books. So, is there a better way to spend your time? Yes, there is. We have so many other things to do that it would be great if we can read these books faster and not waste so much time on them. But the question is it possible? I mean, all the gurus on the internet say that it is possible and that we should do it and read faster with multiple tips and tricks. Read in the middle of the page, use your finger, skim the page, read with your left eye closed while you hold a banana. And the most important one is, read at least 27 books in parallel, 3 for every genre you like. So is it a good advice to read faster? Is it possible? And if it does, at what cost? Well, you know the answer from the title. But the cost might not be worth it for you. So before we dive into the answer, let's first understand what speed reading is. Well, it is what it is. It's reading fast, or at least reading faster than you did. An average reading speed is between 250 and 280 words per minute, which is roughly half a page, but that depends on the type of book that you read. So for example, if you read your favorite novel, that might be faster. But if you read Beyond Good and Evil by Friedrich Nietzsche, well, I don't know, I didn't read that yet. Anyway, the number or the speed doesn't really matter. What really matters is if we can improve and at what cost. Because as it turns out, reading faster is not free. And you know what's also not free? You. You are not free. You're worth more than you think. And I believe in you. And I will give you the answer to the question first, and then we'll understand why. So speed reading is indeed possible, but at the price of losing comprehension. It becomes skimming rather than reading. It means skipping words and trying to get to the end of the page as fast as possible while understanding very little. But hey, look, it can be useful. If for example you understood the point of the paragraph or the chapter and you just want to skip to the end because the rest is just examples or it's just boring, then that's fine, go ahead and skip it. But that too is not such a reliant tool because you might miss major things along the way. So using this trick might help you read more books, but you will not remember much of them. I, for example, once took a speed reading course and I finished War and Peace in under 20 minutes. Let me tell you, it involves Russia. Are you still not convinced? That's fine. Let's go over 2 popular methods and see if they actually work. And the second one will blow your mind. So one of them is to take more information at the same time. You, as a reader, are supposed to take bigger chunks of text, like using your finger to guide your eyes in a zigzag pattern, or putting your finger in the middle of each line so you focus on the center of the page. In simple words, take in more words with the same glance. There is even one secret method that drawing 2 lines to divide the page into 3 separate parts so you can place your eyes in 3 different locations instead of running through the sentence. I saw a video of someone who suggested to do that and he filmed his eyes as he did. Well, as you can see, it's more like 5 different parts, and this video is mega popular. Well, research suggests that expanding your visual span using these techniques is not very effective. Your eyes have a natural range of focus, and exceeding it doesn't significantly increase how much we can absorb. Let's go to the second one, which is more interesting. The voice in your head, or subvocalization. We've heard that so many times.
Voice in your head.
Remember the voice in your head?
The voice in your head.
The voice in your head.
The trick to read faster is to stop the voice in your head. I heard from one YouTuber that we do it because, as children, your parents read books to you out loud, and you were told in school to read out loud. Well, I might not know a lot, but I know this. Before 2020, I read maybe 3 books in my whole life, which were 25 years by then. And my mother never read me a book, and my best pal still follows me every word I read. Some even claim that reading in your head is like speaking out loud. So the rate at which you can speak limits the rate at which you can read. Well, that's funny because the average words per minute of speech is between 110 and 150 words. And as we said earlier, the same average for reading is 250. However, you still might argue that reading in your head is like speaking, and you cannot speak as fast as you read, and that's right. But again, the voice in the head is not the same as speaking, and I'm going to prove it to you. Let's do a short experiment, shall we? I want you to read the next sentence out loud as fast as you can, and then I want you to do the same with the voice in your head. And if the voice in your head was faster, you owe me a like. By the way, feel free to translate it to your language. Okay, so let's start. I can speak this sentence faster than my inner voice can. That's 221. Now, the voice in the head. Believe me. That's my inner voice. You can't see, but it's 128. And if it's around the same time, just use a bigger paragraph. You'll see the difference. I'd love to know your results down in the comments below. So anyway, the conclusion is your voice in your head does not limit the rate at which you can read. Why? Because there's no speaking involved. And as we saw, it's faster than speaking. Although doing these things might make some people read faster, keep in mind that it affects how much you actually learn from the book. See, the faster you read using these tricks, the less you understand and the less you retain. So for some boring books that have a repetitive message or that go over an example that you already saw before, skimming might be a good idea, but you don't actually increase your reading speed. You just use common sense and skip repetitive parts. But real, there's gotta be a way for me to read faster. Somehow I can stop spending so much time reading books. Well, you are right again. There is one scientifically proven way, and I'm going to share with you in just a moment. But before that, there is a method that some claim that they read faster and still understand the same, and it was also shown in a lab. It's called RSVP, Rapid Serial Visual Presentation. In that method, the text is presented word by word in a specific place on the screen, usually one word at a time. The words are delivered like a series of flashcards. So the agonizing motion of lifting the page and going to the next one, or reading with your eyes and going through the rows, are eliminated. I will leave a link down in the description below so you can try it out yourself with 278 words per minute. But to be honest, I tried it, and although it does somehow increase your speed of reading, it gets boring and exhausting so fast. Try it out yourself. So anyways, the clear answer and scientifically proven way to increase your speed is, it might come as a shock to you, but to read. And to read as much as possible. See, there's one proven thing. Your eyes automatically go to the beginning of the sentence if your brain didn't quite understand the meaning of it. And that's because sentences unfold sequentially, word after word, but sometimes we don't understand their message that way. So here's an example. The professor announced on Monday that there's going to be an exam. You see, when you read the first part, you knew that the professor said something. But then when you read the second part, you understood that there is going to be an exam because the professor said that there will be an exam. So we understand the meaning of the beginning of the sentence only after we finish it. So the more you read, the more words you know, the more sentences you know, and the more knowledge you have. That way, your eyes have to go less times to the beginning of the sentence to understand the meaning. And to be honest, you don't really need to speed read. You read non-fiction to learn from them and to absorb the knowledge from them. For example, Mark Manson, the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***, says that he's an average reader and he reads a lot. And one more way to actually increase the speed at which you read is to not read things that bore you. Naval Ravikant, a very known figure and a popular investor, said, "Read what you love until you love to read." Why? Because you need to build up that habit of reading. Many people find it really hard to get going because non-fiction books can be so boring. So pick up a book that interests you, and if it doesn't, move on to the next, and do that as fast as possible. As fast as possible start reading, not as fast as possible read. Anyways, if you're going to start reading or you started reading already, don't miss this video that will show you how to retain everything you read so that you don't lose anything, even if you speed read. I wish you all happy reading and good luck to those who are going to start this journey, and I'll see you in the next one.